Hello and welcome to this virtual career expo hosted by Avia Solutions Group. My name is Michael Jonga and I'm delighted to be your host for today. Now, we're being joined by hundreds of people from around the world and of course by our expert speakers panel from airlines and companies across the group. Our event today will be an interactive one where you can ask your questions to the speakers and companies participating in the event. So before we start, I just want to make sure you're all logged into our slido.com event page. Just go to slido.com and use the event code #CareerExpo25 and you can submit your questions at any point during this event and we will try and get through as many questions as possible. Again, just make sure to include the name of the company you would like to direct your question to within your questions. So we're all set now and let's meet our speakers panel. Today you'll hear from a range of speakers from across the group's airlines, MRO, cargo, charter specialist companies, which includes Chapman Freeborn, KlasJet and FL Technics. All our speakers will give an overview of their companies and share insight into what makes them the perfect place for you to start or continue your career in aviation. Today, Avia Solutions Group is a global leader in ACMI, MRO, pilot and crew training, ground handling and passenger and cargo services with a fleet of over 221 aircraft and a global team of over 14,000 professionals across 6 continents. We'll hear more from the speakers about the group's focus on people, the focus of today's event, and insight into career opportunities available across the group. So opening our event now, it's my pleasure to introduce Jonas Janukenis, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Avia Solutions Group, and Inga Stenunier, the Chief HR Officer of Avia Solutions Group, for their keynote speech and presentation. So without any further ado, Jonas, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our regular career show, Career Expo. Can we go to presentation? Yeah. Okay, so a few words, a very short intro to Avia Solutions Group, who we are, where we come from, what is our mentality, how we do see business, and where we are heading as the group. Let me start from our main activity or from the thing we do. We are the biggest one in that area. We provide ACMI services, which stands for Aircraft Crew Maintenance Insurance, to wide array or wide range of airlines and other clients who need to fly. Basically, that's activity where we provide capacity, fully crewed aircraft with fully maintained aircraft with crews, and we fly on the behalf of the clients. Basically, that means that we service 8, I would say, out of 10 major European airlines, and our clients are most of the major worldwide airlines. The main business assumption or the main added value for a client is that they get capacity where and as they need. And when the season shifts, we shift the capacity to other areas, other seasonality areas. To give you indication of seasonality, which is the basic or the main premise of our business, on the kind of in the middle of the slide, you see the seasonality in Europe. That's European Union plus adjacent countries, including North Africa. As you see from the slide, like 35 to 40% more flights, more capacity is needed during the European summer or IATA summer. Sometimes we tend to think and to say that we live in eternal summer or in, like, we have only 2 seasons, which is low season somewhere from November to March, and then the high season, which is April to October. That's primarily driven by very divergent traffic trends across the globe, which means that Europe, which is the main our market for the summertime, is driven by extreme seasonality. And our business concept is rather simple in principle and rather complicated in terms of execution, that we fly European summer or IATA summer, 5-6 months during the year in Europe for most of the major European airlines. And then we shift capacity to other seasonality areas, which are mostly situated on the southern hemisphere as you might imagine, those parts of the world have totally different seasonality patterns. That gives us possibility to give capacity and to service clients when and as they need it. That's on one hand. Clients can decrease via fixed capacity needs, well, which basically means that clients can decrease via fixed cost and get the capacity, get the aircraft when and as it is needed. In this way, they optimize via capital structure, they optimize via operations. That's on one hand. On the other hand, clients on the southern hemisphere, which have totally opposite, a very different seasonality to the European one, get capacity for 4 or 5 months, depending on the region, on the particular airline need, as well when they need it. And that's the basic premise, or that's the basic principle of our business. So we are an operator. As operator, we do not take like load factor risk or fuel risk. Our main interest is efficiency and basically good, smooth flying operations. As already was indicated in this slide, there are multiple companies that you will see during this show, and if you were present during the last ones. On ACMI as such, capacity provision, we have market leaders, including Avion Express, KlasJet, Ascend Airways, BBN Turkey, and many other airlines. All in all, we have close to 220 aircraft, providing capacity to and as our client needs. That's part of our group and portfolio. That's the main activity. That's the big driver of our growth. As other part of our businesses, we have all other all three letters, which include crew. We have quite extensive network of crew training, cockpit crew, cabin crew training facilities across both Europe and across the world. In terms of maintenance, our major company is the Technics Group, which is present in both Europe, Asia, Southeast Asia, and Americas, as well as we provide insurance through our insurance broker. That covers all our three letters. I already said what is the offer, what is the benefit for our clients. We offer flexibility for them, which basically they can access capacity when they need, which means that they can start up the activities, start up the new routes very fast, swift. They get much higher efficiency because obviously they take capacity only for 6 months, for example, instead of having aircraft flying intensively for 6 months and then standing on the ground idle for the remaining low season part. Plus, we offer to the airlines possibility to test different market routes and different market opportunities without increasing their own fleet. That's the slide on our basic product, which is white tails. We are mostly dominated by narrow bodies. Like 70% of the fleet is Airbus A320 family with dominant A320 aircraft. And then Boeing 737s NGs and Maxes. We also have placed order with Boeing for 40 plus 40 aircraft brand new. But our basic product is white livery aircraft, fully crewed. Crews are trained in accordance in accordance with manuals or airline requirements. And then we put liveries so the end client does not always discern kind of that this is us. So most probable or very highly likely, especially if you are based in Europe, that you flew with us on one or the other occasion. Well, our business case or the total landscape, the rationale for that, in total across the world, there are more than 26,000 commercial aircraft. We estimate that the total capacity or total need for ACMI aircraft or ACMI services is roughly 1.5 units. which means that having 200 plus aircraft and being the largest in this area, we still have very, very big, significant room to grow. Then that's a short snapshot of all the services that we provide. Now, in addition to capacity provision, we also are very active in brokerage, cargo, passenger, business aviation brokerage. Linas, one of our speakers today, will give overview of this. I would say on this area, we are also one of the biggest in the world. We say number one, let's see number one or number two or three, but we are definitely in top two or three amongst brokerage. That also helps us to tailor-made different solutions for our client needs. Then other part of business consists of support services, because those are really essential also, on one hand, for capacity, to have a reliable service, well-maintained, well-crewed aircraft. That's on one hand. On the other hand, of course, we are very active in the market, covering really big geography throughout different companies, which are all part of Avia Solutions Group. That's the map of our activities. Maybe not to go into too many details, but we are well covered in European Union, having AOCs both in Baltic states and Slovakia, and then adjacent countries, Malta as well, adjacent countries like Turkey, like United Kingdom. Just recently, we started AOCs and basically operators in Indonesia. We are already operating over there for 1.5 years. Then we already started to offer very quite new thing to the market in Australia, having the company and the AOC over there. We just recently opened the AOC and started to provide service in Brazil, which is another big area. And as you see, most of those companies are situated on the southern hemisphere. Those are to facilitate aircraft movement from northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere. Also, in our plans are to open AOCs and start operations in Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines at a minimum, and then there are other countries which we see as very attractive for our business. Also, part of Asian story is related to the fact not only that we need to move capacity, not only to the fact that there is a big demand for our services, but also to the fact that especially Asia, Southeast Asia, Asia Pacific, whatever the definition of a region would be, is one of the fastest growing aviation kind of segments or sub-segments. So that's about geography, that's about presence. Roughly 55 to 60% of our revenue is based in Europe. The rest is dominated by Asia, bits of Africa, and then, as said already, we are very actively developing into the Americas. That's our revenue and then the EBITDA. As you see, like back in 2020, our revenue was 700 million. Last year, 2024, we already approached 2.7 billion euros, which in dollar terms were close to 3 billion. EBITDA was also growing adjacently. Looking at the sizes of comparative businesses, capacity provision versus support services, capacity provision is roughly 70% of our overall business. But as you see, both areas are growing really nicely throughout the years. Throughout last, I would say, 10 to 14 years, we had a growth in the vicinity of close to 20% per year. We also want to sustain the same growth levels into quite a long future ahead of us. That's on the fleet. Very briefly, currently we have 12 AOCs and 220 aircraft. As said already, dominant are narrow bodies. Those are the most demanded in the market, most versatile types of aircraft, and we intend to continue that line of business. Mostly that's where we are focused. We are not disturbing ourselves with wide bodies, with regional aircraft. Our main focus is narrow bodies as the most versatile and most demanded in the market. That's just a few slides because time is rather limited. That's our MRO, Maintenance Repair Overhaul Organization, present. We have close to 100 line stations, and we are well covered. And there will be further on people presenting that. But we are really well covered, both in Europe, in Asia. We are actively developing infrastructure, as well as in Americas with forthcoming opening of base maintenance hangars in Punta Cana. Well, the whole network, on one hand, is suited for our flying operations in terms of geography. That's on one hand. On the other hand, also we develop the businesses where they are needed and where we see the biggest market opportunities. That's our training infrastructure. We also, apart from MRO and the training infrastructure, we are quite big, and I would say we are taking like 40 plus percent of ground handling market in the Nordics. But those are the businesses which form all Avia Solutions Group. The last slide from me. Not so much to tell that like on our management bodies, but we have really international board of directors. Our main shareholder, UBO, and then the visionary man, Gediminas Ziemelis, already leading Avia Solutions Group since 2010. Really known personality. In terms of shareholders, apart from Gediminas, our main shareholders are also US fund, Chartares, which own 20% of equity. And in addition, management and some people on this presentation, we are also owners of a business. So we really care what happens out there, and we are really looking for good people to join our teams across the world. So that's from my side. Without further ado, I pass the word to Inga. Thank you for participating.
Thank you, Jonas. And following Jonas' speech on the business models, I would like to start my presentation with the history of the group and the ways how we are connected. So the companies that belong to Avia Solutions Group, they have been within the industry for more than 50 years, which means that our people are very well educated in their respect areas. As well, they have established a long-term partnership with our clients and partners. As a group, we are committed to the continuous growth, and this is very clearly seen on the presentation and in this slide that there's every year there is a new addition either of a legal entity or the business that helps us grow. Going further, I would like to say that our business proposes an HR strategy as well. So with around of 15,000, nearly 15,000 professionals around the globe, we are very much confident on year-to-year growing engagement score results, as well as very stable turnover rates. Moreover, I'd like to say that we also have an increasing number of internal moves, which means that people are tend to move from one company to another, or even in some cases to change the continents. Digitalization, that's another topic in the HR world. And with the digital solutions, it's a timeless topic for aviation. So a few years ago, we started our HR digitalization, and this helps us to be connected worldwide, as well as we are able to offer best options and solutions for our applicants and the current employees. The other very much important field on the topic, we can remain compliant with all regulations by providing consistent data on real time or timely. Furthermore, as a nature leader, I'm super proud of our employee development programs. These programs helps us to unite our managers in their companies internally or locally, as well as worldwide. So we are confident to say that we have a leadership program for the first-time managers, and then later on they can deeper their skills in the other fields such as public speaking or the mental health. Going further, I would like to say that me personally in aviation or within Avia Solutions Groups drives the community. So we have more than 180 ambassadors that represent organization globally. And these ambassadors, they share their experiences about unseen aspects of the group or the reality of the whole aviation industry. Also, we promote diversity and inclusion within our group. And as a result, the Spread Her Wings initiative is taking place already the second year. And there are more than 200 women within the group that mentor each other on their professional and personal development. Additionally, I would like to emphasize on the cultural differences. While having offices in 68 countries, we emphasize of understanding and accepting these cultural differences. And we see this as a superpower from our individual development as well as of development of the entire organization. So, if you are here, so I do believe that you are ready to meet our colleagues from more than 100 cultures that they represent. And I truly believe that your future is here to reshape your career together with Avia Solutions Group. So thank you very much. And Michael, over to you.
Well, Inga, Jonas, thank you so much for that introduction and overview of the group, as well as the scope of its operations and really clearly defining the trend of growth that's been there with the group and what's coming ahead in the future. I'm sure everybody watching can see that there are exciting times ahead and many career opportunities awaiting. So now we're just going to dive straight into the companies that we'll be presenting for today. And we're going to take a look at the cargo industry. Obviously, when you're looking at air cargo, passenger, and private jet charters, these industries and sectors are synonymous with Chapman Freeborn, an organization who for over 50 years has delivered and continues to deliver global air charter solutions for passenger and air cargo movements 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Today, Chapman Freeborn facilitates a spectrum of air charter operations from air cargo charters for e-commerce, emergency humanitarian aid flights, equine and animal transport to private jet charters for business aviation clients, all in a timely and cost-effective manner. So joining us today is Justine Hutchison. She's Senior HR Business Partner for Europe, as well as Linus Dovidenas. He is President of the IMEA region, and they'll dive into the world of passenger and air cargo charters and share more on Chapman Freeborn's extensive global operations and career opportunities. So Linus, Justine, over to you.
Thank you very much, Michael. And welcome everyone to our presentation today. We're gonna introduce you to the Chapman Freeborn Group and tell you a little bit more about what we offer. Michael just already gave you a little bit of a spark, but we will dive into deep today. And I welcome you today from Germany, Linus taking over from Dubai. So this shows already also our global presence. And yeah, this is our global presence across the globe. You see, we have various offices with over 450 colleagues across the globe. And of course, we're growing and growing, especially in our commercial teams. So we will tell you a little bit more about our opportunities that we have, and we'll tell you in which services we specialize. So over to Linus to tell you a little bit more of what we offer.
Many thanks, Justine, and welcome everyone. First of all, of course, thank you everybody for joining us today. and I will try to make it short but attractive for you to evaluate possibilities to join our company in a world of aviation. So, as Justin already mentioned, Chapman Freeborn is a global player in aviation world, and it's offices worldwide and activities worldwide. So, following we at Chapman Freeborn focusing on three major business lines. So, first of all, is a cargo air freight, following by VAP and private flights, and aircraft and leasing management. And in my next slides, I will go briefly through all the business activities for you to have a better understanding what we are doing and how we are doing on that. And I will start with cargo air freight. And cargo air freight consists of many different cargo movements worldwide. Would it be regular cargo flights for e-commerce? Would it be the distribution of new iPhones? As you all know, iPhone should appear in Apple shops at one night worldwide, so it should be distributed also very by air freight. Would it be automotive industry? You name any industry which needs the global distribution, air freight is a solution, and we are covering it worldwide. Would it be heavy, not standard, dangerous goods fitting only to specific aircraft? There are few of them still flying in the world, and it's required special knowledge for packaging, special knowledge for loading to aircraft, and we are specialized on this as well. As Michael already mentioned, humanitarian aids, World Food Program, United Nations programs, any support programs worldwide, we are on it. And worth to mention the transportation of live animals. No need to explain probably how important it is to make sure that animals transported in safe, secure, and very comfort conditions, because some of them like race horses sometimes worth more than aircraft. So it's only few companies in the world has expertise to organize such flights and to make sure everything is done in a proper way. So, and we are proud that the Chapman Freeborn company in Tratko is one of these companies worldwide. And sometimes it's good to start career in onboard courier business as a courier. Yeah, hand-to-hand carry services for sensitive and time-critical matter, where you need to deliver the goods from one hand to another hand in another city, to the customers in another country, or to the customers in another continent. And to become a courier is relatively easy. Yeah, you apply online, you work on a free time, you get basic knowledge on initial cargo documentation, on custom clearance, on delivery process, and later on you can continue with a cargo industry. And for every and each flight, would it be a cargo, would it be the live animals, would it be the small packages, we use our own airline, we use our own aircraft. As Jonas was mentioning, we have number of airlines worldwide. Some of them operate passengers, some of them still operate cargo. So we have our own airlines, our own fleet of aircraft. As well, we do a lot of brokerage, and we use our partners worldwide. So we are being a Chapman Freeborn. We are not closed by our own capacity. We can use any airline worldwide, and this gives us flexibility, gives us opportunity to work with big global airlines, big global freight forwarders, as well as with small local airlines, which can provide small airplanes to carry goods from one city to another. Another business line, maybe even more attractive. This is VAP and private flight for passengers. Yeah. So who doesn't want to get into the world of luxury travel on private jet? Who doesn't want to meet the millionaires, billionaires, I don't know, Instagram stars, music stars, sport, entertainment teams, you name it. Any person who can afford to fly on a business jet. So that's our target and that's our client. Demand for private jets is increasing every year. Currently, we have more than 20,000 business jets operating worldwide, and they all our suppliers, they all our partners, and more people could afford it. Nevertheless, behind every flight, there is a hard work of our team. We need to find the clients, we need to find the required aircraft, we need to find availabilities, and we need to make sure that our clients is getting best possible service, because that's what these clients are demanding. But of course, all these services are supplied without compromising safety, because in aviation is all about safety. Safety is number one. Would it be a cargo? Would it be the VAP flights? Safety also always stands on the first place. And third biggest activities within our group of companies is aircraft leasing and managing. So the team of aircraft leasing experts consists of professionals who already have spent some years in aviation and could be an advisors for the airlines in terms of fleet planning, in terms of sourcing the right aircraft, uh, sourcing aircraft for long-term leases, sourcing aircraft for buy or sell, and also leases for the short-term wet lease as our group is providing. Being part of Avia Solutions Group, of course, the largest aircraft capacity providers, we could leverage on our group capacity. But as a brokers, we can use any airlines in the world to give this opportunity for airlines to lease aircraft from the airline or from different country or from different continent on that. So as you can see, there is plenty of opportunities to join us for any business you like. Would it be cargo? Would it be VAP? Would it be aircraft leasing? You are very welcome to join. Also, there is plenty of opportunities to join us for anywhere in the world. As Justine was mentioning, we have offices in Americas, we have offices in Europe, we have offices in Australia. Wherever you are based, you are very welcome to join us. And I'm giving back to Justine to summarize on our presentation.
Thank you very much, Linus. I think our public people now know a little bit more of like what we offer and how many opportunities we actually have. So this is why I want to answer your question, why you should join Chapman Freeborn. We have this global presence. You will work with a lot of colleagues with different cultures, which is really nice, which kind of like gives you a lot of exposure to how it is to work in different projects, if it's locally or really globally. We have a long-standing history, so if you join us, you will definitely contribute to that, and we'll know about more what happened in the past and what we want to reach in the future. We have a place for kind of every talent, like Linus said. We have a lot of different products, a lot of different skill sets that we therefore need. So, and we're part of the Avia Solutions Group. Inga said before, we have also colleagues who kind of joined maybe Chapman Freeborn, but ended up in another group. So there's a lot of opportunities with Chapman Freeborn Group, but also, of course, Avia Solutions Group. And if you're not convinced now and you need some more information, which I doubt, then of course, reach out to us, ask your questions today, or maybe if some other questions come up later, feel free to follow us on the different channels. If it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, we post regularly also about new opportunities that come up in our group. And visit our website to just have a look again and see, what we offer. Thank you very much for listening, and I give back to Michael. I guess we have some questions.
Yes, well, Justine and Linus, thank you so much for your insight into your work and the work of Chapman Freeborn, of course, which has been having an impact on global industries and global supply chains, as you highlighted quite vividly, for over 50 years, 52 years in particular. And this obviously sparks quite a lot of interest. We'll now be opening our Q&A session where we'll be taking questions from the audience. So for those watching, again, just go to slido.com and use the event code #CareerExpo25, and you can submit your questions there. So for our first question here, and Justine, I think this segues very nicely from one of your final slides there on why Chapman Freeborn, and you highlighted that you've got a lot of tranches of business sectors requiring a lot of different talents, within those sectors, again, to operate and deliver the quality that you deliver on a daily and global basis. A very key component of that is the qualities and skill sets that you look for in potential candidates. Could you just give us a picture of what you look for when you're hiring for some of these related roles?
Yes, of course. I think when I joined almost 5 years ago now, the first thing I learned about our people in the business is they are passionate about aviation. Even if it's you haven't worked in aviation yet, but you're just passionate to be on a plane or to work with planes and of course cargo charters and everything. It's very interesting. You have just need to or want to learn about things, even if you have no skill set yet about it, but be open, be passionate, learn about it, be adaptable. I think we're a very fast-paced industry, so you have to be adaptable to upcoming challenges. Lina said, like, we have projects across the globe, so you have to be very flexible, have a proactive and open mindset, and of course be also very problem solving, because we're solving the problems that our clients have, and sometimes you don't know about a problem that comes up. So again, we're coming back to adaptability. So I think this is kind of the skill set I would say is very important for us.
Maybe even just expanding on that, Justine, because again, being adaptable, staying ready to learn, these are great points and great factors, but there's another side to this coin as well, where again, having a diverse business, there are a lot of skill sets there, but there's also a lot of training and efforts that the company itself needs to put into its employees or put into its staff and the people within the organization. So for this next question here, it's a different approach, but what's Chapman Freeborn's approach to employee development, to employee training, and how you usher people within the company?
Yes. So it was very important for us. I think 2 years ago, we kind of established our own learning and development team because we saw that there is some kind of a lot of knowledge in the business that we just have to deliver. And of course, be open to colleagues who maybe have not the big experience or just want to join us without big experience they had before. So it's very important for us. We now have a team of 2 colleagues in our HR team who deliver training internally on a regular basis, even if it's on site or online. So we get every colleague in the globe covered to have the same knowledge, to have the internal knowledge, of course, also, because it's very specific. So I would say we're good at that, and we always learn, and we want to develop our training more and more, and we listen to our colleagues also what they need. So
fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that, Justine. Linus, I want to bring you in here. Now, as part of your presentation, one slide that you had there was your business commitment. And again, you highlighted very clearly and very vividly as well the different segments of business where Chapman Freeborn operates and delivers its quality. And you highlighted how someone can enter in from one section of the business, and maybe they might end up in another part of the business, leading into my next question here, which is, what are some of the career growth paths that are available to those who enter in? I mean, where can they start from, and where could they end up? And are there any success stories that you can share?
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael, for the question. Definitely, in such a diverse business, there is always opportunities. You can, as you mentioned, you can start in one business and end up completely in different one, or you can start in one country and end up in different one. And I am also an example. I started in Lithuania, and now I am in Emirates. Yeah, and we have plenty of such examples. And starting from Chapman Freeborn, the most of the team leads started with a broker some times ago, and this is if we covering only Chapman Freeborn. But since we are part of Avia Solutions Group, there is also much bigger opportunities. It's 15,000 people working in a group, and there is so many products and so many activities. But definitely, people who shows the results, people who shows the passions, people who shows the willingness to learn something new, they are always welcome, and we give these opportunities. And there's always people moving and making their careers, changing the countries, and we are very happy about it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for that. And actually, on the point of some success stories, something that I can share here is, which is a good example, is Chapman's chairman. who started out as a ramp agent, and now he's the chairman. And of course, that took a 33-year period to get there. But I'm sure there'll be people who want to know, what is the blueprint for that? And Linus will be sure to send them over to you. But Linus, I just want to keep you here on the hot seat here. Talk more about the international opportunities that are there, international projects and assignments that people can work on. Just give us a bit of a picture of what that looks like.
No, taking the simple. Every flight is already international. Every flight starts almost in one country and lands in another country. So I would say that 95% of our project at Chapman Freeborn is international project. So we fly from China to Europe, from China to United States, from Europe to Africa, from Africa to Australia. So 95% of our business is international, and people need to to know how to communicate with different cultures, how to negotiate with different cultures, how to get to the people in different time zones. And it's of course brings certain challenges, but nevertheless, all 95% of our business is international, and that's very much attractive, I believe, for many people who don't want to be closed in certain area, but wants to be all world open for them.
Fantastic. Now, Justine, I want to bring you in here, especially on the topic of being such an international and global company. Now, as part of your role within the HR department, you get to meet a lot of different people. You get to interact with them, hear their ambitions, hear their plans, what they hope to achieve, within the company, whether they're already within the company or they're just starting out. What advice do you give to them, especially operating, in Chapman's ecosystem and culture? What advice do you give to them?
I would say communicate. I just said before, like we need someone who is like open to communicate, who isn't scared to ask questions. And I think this is the main important thing. Speak to people, get their knowledge, get on board, be curious, and get out with our colleagues. We offer a lot of like cross-functional even opportunities. One good example is we have students in Germany in the marketing team, and they have been able to see a private jet to understand what are our other colleagues working on. So I think just being proactive, be communicative, and ask and yeah, learn.
Fantastic. Be communicative, ask, and be ready to learn. So just a message to our audience again, if you'd like to ask your questions, just go to slido.com and use the event code #CareerExpo25, and we will try and get through your questions. So Linus, Justine, you've painted this picture of Chapman Freeborn as a global business, again, involved in so many different supply chains, so many different industries and sectors. Now, if you were to sum it all up, and highlight or give a final closing statement of what makes Chapman Freeborn stand out, what would be your words about the company? Justine, over to you first.
Of course, I should say something different, but I'm working in HR, so of course, my answer is the people that we have. I think everyone in our group, you'd feel kind of their sense of like culture that we look for. And we always hear that also from our teams, from our colleagues in surveys that we do. It's the people that you work with, beside the very interesting business, of course.
Fantastic. And Linus, final mic over to you.
And always being a salesperson in my heart, I'm always saying the market. Our market is all world, so we are a global company, and there are not so many businesses which you can cover all world in one day. So in the morning you can be in Japan, you can have negotiations in Japan, and in the evening you already will be in Europe, and next day you are in Mexico, and the same clients, same products, same negotiations. So industry which market is all world is really so attractive that I believe everybody wants to be here.
Fantastic. Well, I guess, to sum it all up, the world is your oyster when you join Chapman Freeborn. So, Linus, Justine, thank you so much for your answers to the Q&A and really giving us insight into the blueprint of the world of passenger and cargo charter brokers and the opportunities available to those that join your global team.
Thank you.
Now, in a world that brings together ACMI operations and exclusive VIP air charter flights, KlasJet is renowned as a leader in the provision of such bespoke flights. With the fleets of Boeing 737 family and Boeing business jet aircraft, KlasJet has been setting the standard for exceptional private and corporate air charter services for over a decade, while its ACMI services mirror the service excellence of its private air charter services. This has allowed the airline to build a clientele of diplomatic and government envoys, royal families, high net worth individuals, professional sports teams, corporate teams, and other esteemed passengers. So joining us now to share more about the company and its global operations and plans for the future is Sandra Diaso. She's the head of HR in KlasJet. So Sandra, welcome and over to you.
Hello, everybody, and hello, Michael. Thank you for such a nice introduction. It's really a huge pleasure to present my company. Of course, everybody loves their company the best, so I'm really proud. And let's jump. So, actually, I would like to start the presentation with a very soundy slogan, but this slogan means a lot to our people and to our company itself. It sounds like less me, more we, and a lot more synergy. So KlasJet, within lots of years of experience and existence in the market, actually realize that the team which we are having and which we are caring about is the golden key to the success. The investment to the team and to the professionals is very important, and the environment where they are being and where they are working and spending majority of their let's say lifetime, it's also the key factor. So that's why automatically it formates the slogan where we are strongly believe in adapting in our daily life. Let's jump to some facts. Of course, facts is very important, getting to know each other and especially the company. So KlasJet is the airline, which is not very fresh and not very new in the market. We are more than 10 years doing this business without changing a line and successfully accomplishing project after the project. We are a very unique company actually because we are having two very different but very perspective and important business lines in our company is VIP Charters and ACMI. We are totally a Boeing company. In both business lines, we are operating Boeing 737s. So it gives us more stability and, let's say, bigger orientation to the operations and to the quality of the services and aircrafts itself. Of course, we are global company. We are international company, no matter is flying personnel or administration. So we are very diverse and open to any kind of cultures, experiences, and more than happy to hear and adapt some innovations in our daily lives. What is very important to mention, we are part of the biggest aviation group company, Avia Solutions Group, which actually give us a lot of possibilities, a lot of opportunities, and huge support, which help us to succeed and go further and further. Here I would like to show you shortly the timeline, just based on possibility to highlight that we are very diverse and let's say adaptable company. Because in these almost already 12 years of experience and operations in the market, we passed a lot. We changed lots of types of aircrafts. We start from Challengers, then we grabbed the opportunities and swift ourselves to the Boeings, which give us really huge expand and dive in new opportunities and new niche where we are now and happy being there. During the COVID times, of course, there were affected lots of airline companies, but we were so fast goal orientated. The team worked super amazingly, and we were able within a month shift our operation profile to cargo one, and that's how it helped to survive for us, and that's how we showed that we are strong enough to do impossible possible. And of course, post-COVID times, for those airlines who survived, they give a normal opportunities to do something else. And we are one of them. We in KlasJet are really orientated to grab the opportunities and to experiment and do something new. So that's how back to 2023 we discover and we process a new business line is ACMI. Uh, how we are standing so far? Actually, when we added the ACMI business line, I'm calling that the company lived in the revolution of its history because we had a normal growth. We growth by more than 200% in personnel. Then half of the aircrafts expand. Now we are having 11 aircrafts in our fleet. So the environment and all the structure of the company changed dramatically, but we are really really happy because we were able to keep the same understanding of the team spirit, the same cozy and friendly environment, and the number shows that we really succeed because last year our turnover was just 2.6%, next to that huge expansion. So it means that we are doing something great. People are happy over here and they valued what they experiencing together with us. Of course, it would be huge offense not to mention some spicy elements. It's our precious clients. So it's just few of them you can see on the screen, but it says a lot, I believe, because working with such huge names and huge personalities, we have a huge obligation, service-wise, quality-wise, and professionalism-wise. So the qualities are high for us, and we are trying to keep these standards all the time, no matter which business line we are directing ourselves. And the future, of course, we not stopping. These 12 years show that we can do a lot. That's why our goals are even bigger and bigger. So for the future, our direction is expansion. Expansion in the fleet, mainly in the ACMI direction, but not forgetting the VIP side as well. And accordingly, if the fleet is expanding, it means that we are looking for more and more professionals in any kind of field, flying personnel, technicians, administration, accountings, and many, many more. And of course, we are orientating ourselves to expansion globally because when the fleet is expanding, we need more space to realize them, to place them. So constantly, we are looking for opportunities to expand globally in the different continents and touch more and more exceptional clients. So If in this short presentation you resonate and you felt that it might be your future company, so don't forget to follow us. Don't forget time to time to check our career page where we are putting all the open vacancies. Don't forget to follow us in social media because we are putting also lots of exciting news or some insights with whom we are working and where we are appearing. And also all the time the emails or other channels are available to give the questions. So shortly like this.
Fantastic. Sandra, thank you so much for your introduction. As you can see, I'm still smiling, and that's because I saw
I see
Chelsea.
that.
Chelsea is one of the teams that you carry, and of course, I'm a fan. I'm sure you can see that. I'm dressed in blue. My background is blue, so that does give it away. But again, thank you for that vivid overview of KlasJet, as well as the exciting opportunities that are there within the company. And I'm sure our audience is very keen on exploring them. So again, we'll be taking questions from our audience. Just go to slido.com and use the event code #CareerExpo25, and you can submit your questions there while we still have time in this Q&A session. So Sandra, I'm going to take a slightly different direction with this Q&A session. Obviously, you've given quite a brief but detailed overview of KlasJet, your history, and its role in the industry. But I want to pay attention or come more to you and your experience as the head of HR. What has been your experience within KlasJet? Obviously, you get to deal with a lot of people. What's your perspective of the company?
It's a very good question. Actually, I'm already with the company 4 years, and you will not believe, but I still every morning getting up, having the same thoughts. What is next? And those burning eyes. So actually, yes, it's the company who is very diverse, very dynamic, but I think so. It's the key driver for everybody who is over here. We really excited with the each project which we are accomplishing because they are really unique. We cannot put the stamps that they are the same and adopt the same rules. But on other hand, it's giving lots of opportunities if the personnel is orientating to the growth, to experience, and to development. So I think that whole team is united with this sparkles and with this, excitement every morning. What is waiting next? Because it's never boring over here.
Fantastic. Talking of sparkles, I'm sure there are members in our audience here who are very curious of knowing that, where would they start in KlasJet? And maybe they're just starting out in their aviation career. What would be your advice to those individuals, people interested in pursuing a career in aviation, pursuing a career with KlasJet? What's your advice to them?
Follow your dream. It's really the only phrase what I can suggest. Don't drop it. I know that in aviation there is lots of still stigmas, female, male, and so on. But believe me, it's getting better and better. I also, when joined this company 4 years ago, we didn't have a female pilot. Now we are having around 10 of them. So the world is changing, and just be brave. If you really feel that it's your field, try. The opportunities are there. More and more companies, including us, we are giving even startup packages. We are hiring for internships. We are hiring junior levels, and we are ready to invest. Just we need to see that motivation and that willingness to take all these opportunities. So if you are one of them, just feel free, feel brave, and keep trying and keep grabbing these opportunities.
That's a very great point there, Sandra, in terms of, inspiring people to grab these opportunities. And obviously you highlighted one of the themes that we have in this event, which is investing in people, right? Because people do make the business, people make the culture, and they really help businesses to grow and to expand. Now, I want to come back to your presentation. Again, we saw some big names there: Jennifer Lopez, Messi, Chelsea, of course. And of course, being around all these different personalities, international figures, celebrities, royalty, government dignitaries, again, you might find yourself kind of inspired or feeling like you just want to take a selfie, right? Which would be quite nice, in that setting. But again, you are very synonymous. KlasJet is synonymous with, excellence, with etiquette, a certain way of doing things which has to be adhered to in your operations. Give us an insight into that. Can someone take a selfie, or is there an etiquette that people have to follow?
I know that everybody is eager for that, and it would be lovely to have, an album of the signatures or the photos or something. But yeah, you are really right and straight to the point that no, unfortunately, we don't have such privileges, and we are very strict regarding this. For us, the respect of the client space, client's privacy is really, really important. And we are paying lots of attention and serious attention to that. Even though we are looking to each client as a little project very seriously and very personally. We are analyzing each client needs, what he likes, what doesn't like, and so on. Like, for example, it's like very sneak peek, but I am able a bit to share that. Like, we've flown with the Belgium Queen and King, and it was really like, it seems like nothing, it's just a regular flight and so on, but it took a couple of weeks for a serious preparation. We were training our crews who were on board with them, and we were analyzing even such a things like to shake the king's hand or not for a pilot, because we have a tradition that the pilots all the time going out of the board and welcoming the clients and like shaking the hand or giving a small gift or something like that. So these kind of small details, it's really really important, and it's showing how we are presenting the company, the service, and ourselves. So yeah, it's huge preparation, hard work, and we are paying lots of attention to that.
Well, Sandra, to be or not to be, I guess that's the question, right? Do you shake the king's hand or do you not shake his hand? But again, getting it right is what you do on a daily basis with every client that you fly with, royalty, delegation, government dignitaries. I want to come to the business now, right? You've got two main business lines we can look at, which is the VIP charter services as well as ACMI, right? These are two, you could say, slightly different parts of the businesses, but you as KlasJet, you bring in these two sectors very nicely and harmoniously, within your operations. So to that point, for people who are watching today who may want to explore careers either in the VIP segment or in the ACMI segment, what career growth plans, growth paths are available to individuals who do join and want to explore these different segments?
So, as I mentioned before, the opportunities are wide. We have hold the administration panel where every kind of individual can find themselves, starting from HR, finances, finishing with technicians and engineers. We have a huge panel of flying personnel, which is also providing the services for us, and it's a very important part of our business. But maybe in this question, I would highlight the other benefit what the people who are joining us can consider and grab and use as an opportunity, because even before preparing, for some presentations previously, I was chatting with our best friend nowadays, ChatGPT, asking how many airlines in the Europe are who are having such operations, VB and ACMI under one umbrella. And I was surprised that there is just few of them, and we are one of these luckiest one. So it means that. we really good space and platform for the professionals to grab various knowledges and participate in different projects under one company. You can work in VAP. You can have projects in ACMI. You can compare. You can see the differences and similarities, and many, many more. So I think so that the opportunities it's really high, and I will be proud now to say, but unique.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned something quite interesting there about ChatGPT, you being best friends with ChatGPT. So for my next question here, I'm going to try bring a twist, and simulate what ChatGPT might say. If someone went to ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT that, what is the process for applying to job openings at KlasJet? What would ChatGPT say?
I believe that straight away direct to career at ClasJet.iro, and for sure it's not a lie. You can find all the information about the open positions in our web page, career page. You can drop your CV freely through the email I just mentioned, or LinkedIn profile. We have Instagram, Facebook, so all the channels are alive. They are available, and for sure your application or your questions will reach us, or me if it's directly directed to me.
Fantastic. Now, Sandra, you've given us a very vivid overview of ClasJet, your history, where you've come from, how you've adapted, you've stayed adaptable, you've stayed versatile, again, while still delivering service excellence right across the board. Something you spoke about briefly was the vision for the company's future. And I'd like you to talk a little bit more about that and just expand on that image and on that picture of where the company is heading and what opportunities await those who would join the company, or maybe those watching who are already in the company who may be looking to expand their career. What does that future look like?
So, of course, as I mentioned before, we are not stopping in one place. It's not nature of us. We are all the time exploring something new and looking for a bright future. Uh, and as an airline itself, the biggest expansion we are seeing in our fleet, because it's directly correlating to what we are doing and where we have possibilities to expand. In VAP, we will not have expansion. VAP charter business line will not have so dramatic expansion, because we are already the biggest according to our fleet size in the Europe. So we reach that level that it's limiting, let's say, us a bit. But of course, the plans are to add a few more aircrafts in a timeline. And the biggest concentration will be ACMI. There we are planning to expand the most. We are also concentrating ourselves to become independent in Part 145. So it means that we are expanding our own engineers field, and the future is to open even a few line stations and so on. So the opportunities, as I said, is there. The plans are there. Just need, to speed up and have a bit of luck.
Fantastic. And Sandra, if you were to sum it all up and really encapsulate the full essence of KlasJet and what someone can expect to experience once they join the company, how would you sum it up? What would be your final closing words about the company?
I think so that the number shows a lot. The turnover, the people amount who joined us, that we are doing something good, because people love us, because people want to stay with us. Of course, as all the companies, we have ups and downs, we have turbulences, we have easier or harder days. But connecting and joining those people as a team it means a lot because when you have a team spirit and when you see the same goal and line, you can do a lot and pass all these clouds and happy times as well. So I believe that concentration to the environment and people, it's important, and we are quite in a good direction with that.
Fantastic. Sandra, thank you so much for your answers. And again, just to reiterate your points, having that team spirit, one culture, one vision in delivering excellence and service quality, across the board. And that brings us to the end of this Q&A session. But again, Sandra, thank you for your insight into KlasJet and the world of ACMI and private charter flights in the aviation industry and the role that KlasJet does play in bridging these two sectors together.
Pleasure is mine.
Now, a key component to the successful daily operation of an aircraft or airline is the maintenance performed on those aircraft and airline fleets. This work is usually done by a various number of MRO organizations, including base and line maintenance organizations. Technics is a global independent group providing full-scope aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul services across a wide range of aircraft, including Boeing aircraft, Airbus, ATR, Embraer, Bombardier and CRJ aircraft and other aircraft, with a team of over 3,500 professionals across its global network. Now, while Technics has hangars and facilities across Europe, Asia, Africa, North and South America, today we'll be taking a look at Technics' exciting developments and operations in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. So joining us now to speak more on the company and its operations is Andreas Nikiforovas, who's the Chief Production Officer. So Andreas, greetings from a sunny Punta Cana and over to you.
Yeah, Michael, hello, thanks for having me. And of course, good day, everyone who is joining this presentation. Unfortunately, the last presentation about Technics and its exciting development in the Caribbean. So you can look here at the top corner of my slide and you can see the new location, brand new location in Punta Cana International Airport in the Dominican Republic in the Caribbean Sea. So it's going to be a privately owned commercial airport, which is as well situated in the free economic trade zone. So you people in the chat, you can see two codes here for this international airport. So if you can drop me a reason why do we need two codes, I would be happy to see how much do you know about commercial aviation. Yeah. Okay, moving on, Technics is just a truly global provider of maintenance and engineering services. We, of course, focus in base maintenance, line maintenance, design and production, as well as technical trainings. However, for today, my job is going to be focusing on the base maintenance aspect of our services, which usually include scheduled routine maintenance and overhaul of commercial aircrafts and its components, together with engineering and maintenance planning, structure or composite repairs, aircraft refurbishment, interior conversion, and even aircraft painting services here in Lithuania, and as well a variety of shops for their components, and including our non-destructive testing department, which is actually rating qualified for the mass majority of non-destructive testing methods in the world. So here is a little bit, again, I'm going to repeat our MRO infrastructure. Of course, Michael introduced it perfectly. As you can see, we have a majority of presence in the European continent and as well in North America, mainly Canada. And of course, our base maintenance facilities are situated in Lithuania, in Great Britain, in Indonesia, and the brand new facility, which is going to be opening this year, is in Dominican Republic. Here you're gonna see how artistic concept visualization of a hangar is gonna look. So of course it's gonna be sunny, almost always clear skies, and the hangar itself is still being built in this specific zone in the Punta Cana International Airport. Here we can go a little bit technical to the drawing of our facility. As you see, we're gonna fit 5 aircraft at the same time, which is indicated by the blue area. And in the red area, we're gonna have component shops and as well as administrative offices for all our new coming staff. Opposite side of a taxiway, you're gonna see 5 more parking spaces for the aircrafts of our customers. And to the left of our brand new hangar, you see a existing facility. It's a air cargo terminal, which is a part of free economic trade zone of Punta Cana. Okay, here we can see a most recent construction progress of our hangar. So as you can see, it's basically taking shape already. We already have a roof, some walls, not all the windows. However, it's looking quite good. The progress is very nice. I like it. And again, I'm gonna come back to our future developments. So initial construction is gonna be to facilitate 5 aircrafts, narrow body aircrafts in 5 bays. And following that, we're gonna continue expanding with 7 more bays nearby. We're gonna just extend the hangar to the northeast. Here you can see just a simple timeline how our construction and launch of the hangar is progressing. So pre-construction and design phase is already complete. Construction and approvals are in progress, and the next phase is going to be the receiving of all the tooling and ground support equipment. Certifications should be granted and teams fully formed. So this is where you, our viewers, and the participant of this Expo, this is where you can come in and join our exciting new project in sunny Punta Cana. And of course, hangar fully functioning, we expect it to be in October of this year. So really not a lot of time for you to apply and for me to select your application and to invite you to join me. Yeah? A little bit coming back to the certification and approval process, since maintenance should be oversaw by some competent aviation authority in each corresponding country. So in this case, we are in the process of receiving maintenance approval from Federal Aviation Administration, which is a regulatory authority of the United States of America. And as well, in parallel, we are working with local Dominican Republic regulator, which you can see the abbreviation is IDAC. For the aircraft types, again, standard narrow bodies, the most popular ones, Airbus 320 family and Boeing 737 whole families, including Classic and G Max, and so on. So nothing too different and difficult from our life and work in the rest of the world. And of course, in addition to the aircrafts themselves, we're going to have quite a few of the workshops. And those going to include sheet metal workshop, paint workshop, mainly for the components, composite components workshop, interior workshop for seats, for floor coverings, battery workshop to charge and overhaul the batteries, emergency equipments like escape slides, life vest, as well as oxygen equipment and shop for the oxygen cylinders. And of course, our NDT lab with most of NDT methods available at the start. So this is going to include a liquid penetrant inspection, eddy current, radiography, and even thermography inspection of any aircraft structure or part of a component. So our hiring plans are quite ambitious. So of course, to service 5 aircrafts, we're going to need a lot more than 300 new colleagues in Punta Cana. So this is why I was asking to join this show, so I can look you in the eye and ask you to contact our company and come work for us, because we're going to have some leadership roles like bay managers, which are going to be technical persons who will be responsible for a whole bay or single aircraft project and the progress and handling of the issues. Of course, under bay manager, we're looking for deputy bay managers who will be supporting daily operation and coordinating with the team leaders. And of course, team leaders for each bay, we're looking for exactly 3 or 4 team leaders. So leadership roles are gonna be selling like hotcakes. Yeah. In addition to our base, we're gonna be looking for workshop unit manager. Under this manager, we'll be looking for workshop units team leaders. So each workshop unit should have a dedicated team leader, which is technically experienced with proper leadership skills. And as well, we do not forget a maintenance support unit manager, which is the main support unit, the technical support unit, which handles all the problems, all the purchase of the tooling, repairs, and servicing of a ground support equipment. So this is quite an important unit, which do require a dedicated manager. And of course, NDT unit manager and team leaders to supervise the most critical team, the inspection team of aircraft maintenance, which is going to be a non-destructive testing personnel. So if leadership is not in your point of view, we still have a lot of technical and support roles, which are going to include aviation mechanics, certifying staff, which, since we are not in Europe and not in the United States, it is sufficient for a certifying staff to have ICAO Annex 1 compliant license. So basically, if you or someone you know has a license from your local country, and if you can fix the aircrafts in your local country, we're talking about the narrow body, large turbine powered aircrafts, you can join our team here in Dominican Republic, and you can start certifying your work, certifying the work of aviation mechanic yourself. And of course, repairmen, sheet metal workers, repairmen for the composite components, painters, tool engineers, NDT technicians, and metrology or calibration technicians will be needed as well. And do not fret, this is not all. If you do not possess any technical experience or you do not have a technical mindset, we still have quite a few of support and administrative roles where there isn't necessary any engineering like education or know-how. Of course, these are going to include structure engineers, head of logistics, storekeepers, packers, procurement managers, facilities managers, human resource specialists, and of course, the department which no company can work is IT support engineers. And of course, our main blood of any MRO is the aviation mechanic, because this is the hands which are basically fixing the planes, of course, with guidance from the more experienced people. So for aviation mechanics, we're going to be opening a lot of positions. And if you like troubleshooting, either in a mechanical or electrical aircraft system, if you like working as a team under the direction of a licensed engineer, if you like shift work schedule, you love adhering to technical instructions, the only thing we're going to need from you is secondary or high school education. Of course, if you have any experience in aviation, in technical field, in vehicle car maintenance, it is going to be an advantage. However, for our requirements, just high school education will be enough. And of course, we gonna train you. We're gonna help you to receive your first license, and we're gonna help you grow in maintenance and engineering field of large passenger aircraft. So overall, working at FL Technics is just the beauty of maintenance and repair organization. Because as always, all transport equipment needs to be maintained regardless of the weather conditions, regardless of your political situations, and of course, as a truly global company, even if you're going to start in the Dominican Republic, since you saw in the beginning of the presentation, we have a lot of locations. So it is a real possibility to travel to these locations and to share your knowledge and to gain new knowledge from different perspectives, different regulations. And here in the last slide, a delightful picture of the white sandy beaches of Dominican Republic, and as well with the aircraft, the shadow of aircraft. And here you have a dedicated QR code which you can scan, and where you will be sent to a dedicated career application page, which is just for Punta Cana hangar. So scan the code, enter information, and we're gonna contact you back. If you do not know to which position you want to apply, we're gonna help you figure things out. Thank you.
Fantastic. Andreas, thank you so much for sharing about those operations in the Dominican Republic. I know I would like to end up on the white sunny beaches in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and I'm sure other people watching will also want to experience that as well. So thank you for sharing about that. And again, this transitions very nicely into our Q&A session. We'll be taking our final round of questions. Again, to members of our audience, just go to slido.com and use the event code #CareerExpo25, and you can submit your questions there. Now, Andreas, I want to start off from a different point of view here, because we're getting a very unique insight into not just an established business, but the establishment of a hangar, of your facilities, of your operations in the Dominican Republic. And not many people get the opportunity to hear about that experience, about what it's like, about what someone can experience, in being a part of that as well. So what has been your experience in establishing your operations in the Dominican Republic?
So of course, the most different and difficult for me is gonna be new regulations, because whole my career I've been working under European aviation rules, and now we're gonna pivot to United States and Federal Aviation Administration rules, which are quite a little bit different. However, I already like those regulations a lot more than European ones, because they are quite simpler. Federal Aviation Administration was alive for a very long time. They had so much time to refine their procedures, their all the requirements. It looks like it's gonna be a little bit easier. And of course, new region, new customers, new team members. And since it's gonna be brand new facility, and we will be looking for a lot of new colleagues. So it's very likely our new hangar is going to be like a very big melting pot with the people from different cultures. So it's going to be quite exciting. And of course, the Caribbean weather. If you are spending the day at the beach, the weather is quite nice. However, for aircraft maintenance, it can supply some challenges. So of course, working at higher temperatures, especially inside the aircraft, is not really comfortable for people. And of course, we're gonna get portable air conditioning units. But the weather and the climate itself, especially being so close to the sea and the air being so humid, we can expect a little bit larger risk of corrosion on the aircraft system just due to the salty air. So that is going to be a different challenge one we have in Europe with our winters and snow. But it's still going to be a challenge.
Fantastic. And I'm sure for those in our audience, again, who like to troubleshoot, just taking your words, Andreas, they would enjoy, facing, a different challenge, a new challenge in their operations. Now, taking your words again from what you just said there, it's a new region, it's a new facility, new hemisphere, you could say. But there's always an undertone, or rather, let me not say undertone, but rather one of the core factors, core pillars of the aviation industry across any industry or spectrum of aviation is safety and safety culture, and how your operations maintain the safety, of course, of the employees within the company, of your facilities, of the aircraft, the owners of the aircraft, and ultimately of the passengers who are going to be using and flying on these aircraft. So can you just give us insight into FR Technics safety culture, which I do know that you maintain on a global scale?
Okay, so yeah, so regarding safety, of course, in commercial air transport, be it flight operation or maintenance, or even just ground handling, safety is very, very important. Everyone knows that. And of course, here in FL Technics, since we have decades of experience, total overall innovation, starting from even Soviet Union, some people still have some still working. We have a decade of experience, and we had decades of time to improve that safety aspect, to devise the systems, the reporting, the safety culture. And of course, the thing I'm being proud of is that our mid managers are always technical and engineering guys with airworthiness experience. So in that case, they do understand when it is allowed to push for the commercial reasons, or when it is better to, not better, necessary to prioritize safety and airworthiness of aircraft, of the employees, of the workers, of the mechanic. So it is basically the experience and technical know-how of our people.
I want to take a look at career growth paths here. Now, obviously, we've been talking about FR Technics Dominican Republic and your expanding operations there. But in addition to that, I want to take a broader look and a broader view at the whole of FR Technics. Again, your global network, having facilities in Europe, in Asia, in North and South America, in Africa. And, it's a really global business, and you're maintaining all these standards, on a global scale. Now, on that point, what are some of the career opportunities, career paths that are available to those who want to join the company, to those already in the company? And what are some of the success stories of people within the company? You might even just share your own as well.
So of course, growth opportunities are very diverse. And here you saw how many different skills and different positions of people are required to successfully run a base maintenance facility at a minimum. Yeah. So 300 plus people, different backgrounds, be it aviation, engineering, social skills, even finance and IT. But of course, the most exciting journey is, and the longest and the most fulfilling journey is from aircraft mechanic in the engineering side. So you start just as a trainee, then you progress to a mechanic, you get new ratings, you can work on new aircrafts, then you get your license, then you become the team leader, deputy bay manager, so on. So I know at least one guy who started as a mechanic and is now a chief production officer somewhere in the Caribbean. So yeah, a lot of growth opportunities, and especially in the engineering side.
Fantastic. I'm sure that Chief Production Officer is enjoying his time in the Caribbean there, as you stated. Now, I want to come back to your slides. And, within your slides, you showed, very vividly and very in a detailed manner the various number of positions that are available to those who are interested in joining, again, at a management level, at a senior level, at a mid-level, and at an entry-level capacity as well. But on that point, what do you look for in candidates, right, across all these levels? What are some of the qualities that someone should have or someone should work on, qualities that someone can bring into the company that will maybe give them an advantage, or not just an advantage, but help their career, help their growth in just in being an engineer and being a part of FR Technics? What do you look for in candidates?
Okay, so that's an excellent question. So me personally, I would love a candidate who is somewhat passionate with aviation, just like me myself. However, talking about the supporting roles, in this specific case, in the new operation of a new hangar in Punta Cana, we are looking for people who will help us establish the system, help us with some mundane decisions, help us start the process up. So even support administrative roles, we need people who will be like spearheading all our growth in that region. And of course, from a technical engineering side, if you have any inkling, you like working with tools, you love technical stuff, you can really think hard about joining here in Dominican Republic, where all of us, we're gonna start and build quite a new and excellent team and a new facility. And that facility is gonna be very likely it's gonna be just how you like it, because you're gonna be participating in that.
And that's such an interesting point there, Andreas. Again, people have an opportunity right now with FR Technics and your operations in the Dominican Republic to be a part not just of the growth of the company, but its establishment as well. And, give their own input and be a part in laying down those bricks, in this period of the company, in this chapter for the company, and for them as well. Now, you've spoken very extensively on FR Technics, again, operations in the DR, as well as operations globally, right? What you represent as FR Technics in the global market and in servicing maintenance, repair, and overhaul services to the entire aviation industry. If you were to wrap it up in a few words, what makes FR Technics stand out as the employer or the MRO of choice in the industry?
So, from the airline, from a customer point of view, of course, very technical and talented technical staff with years of experience. And from colleague or employee point of view, so truly global company, which is steadily growing, just increasing its basket of skills and constant learning, mentoring, and, and ownership of all the departments, basically of all the people in the field techniques. We just get along with everyone.
Fantastic. Well, Andreas, thank you so much for your answers. And of course, on my part, I'm not directly involved in maintenance and engineering, but I do have an engineering background. So hopefully, I look forward to an invitation to the DR and to the sunny beaches there in Punta Cana. So thank you very much, Andreas.
Yeah, of course, Michael, just scan the QR code and put your info there. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. And that brings us to the end of our event today. As we draw the curtains on this online event, I want to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to all our viewers who joined us today. Thank you to each and every one of you for being part of this Career Expo hosted by Avia Solutions Group. A special thanks goes to our esteemed speakers from Chapman Freeborn, FL Technics Dominican Republic, and KlasJet, who share their insights into their companies and the actions that you, the viewers, can take and the next steps of your careers in aviation. So if you'd like to know more or to get in contact with any of the speakers or companies that they represented, please do so by contacting info@aviasg.com, or you can visit career.aviasg.com to find out more. You'll also get an email after the event with more information that you can follow up on to begin your career steps within Avia Solutions Group and within aviation. Once again, thank you for joining us for this Career Expo. And until we meet again, take care, stay inspired. Thank you and goodbye.